The mundane, kind of the everyday tasks, the profane, which I talked about a few weeks ago, is considered outside the temple. So when we judge or condemn or blame the world for our unhappiness, we're being profane. And then the sacred, that which comes from the divine. And we can think of these three aspects maybe like a watercolor. And if we add a little water of consciousness, the swirl of colors can become an artistic expression of our own. And it's up to each of us to find and be aware of these aspects in creating what I think of as a divine balance in our lives. You may have heard of the Zen proverb, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment,
chop wood, carry water.
Right. So the mundane can be an important part of our spiritual experience, if we allow it to. And our spiritual experience is ever evolving, isn't it? Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind, calls this the upward spiral. And the upward spiral of spiritual growth. And our human experience, I believe, is an ongoing opportunity to learn and grow. To grow and learn. You know, grow has grrr. Grrr. Grow also has ow. Right?
Yeah.
And growth has own in it. Okay, I'm done talking now. So when we open up our watercolor palette to paint a new creation, we step fully into our consciousness to welcome the gift that each color brings. And we can watch as the water turns them into something brand new. Everything new. I'm ready for my next thing to do. Remember that song a few weeks ago by Daniel Nahmod? Everything new. Are you ready for your next thing to do?
Yes.
Yeah. No?
Yes.
Yes. Are you ready for our next thing to do? Well, be ready. So my talk today is entitled Interconnected. And this relates to the sacred, the profane, and the mundane, but it also, for me, reminds us of our humanity and that we're all connected and interconnected. And through and with spirit, we connect at a higher level. I mean, we know this. You know how you feel when you're disconnected from anything, right? Michael Beckwith said, "We didn't come here to perfect our judgments. We came here to perfect our loving." I mean, truly, did you know that you are a unique expression of an unlimited potential? Did you know that? What if we said, I am a unique expression of an unlimited potential? Let's say it together. I am a unique expression of an unlimited potential. Wow. Doesn't that like blow open a door? I came across a writing by the great Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, who founded Taoism. And he said, I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These are your greatest treasures. Being compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. Wow. Well, we might ask ourselves, well, how can being compassionate to myself reconcile all beings? And to understand this, we can think of a spoked wheel, like a bicycle wheel. I tried to draw a spoked wheel. I didn't do a very good job. So if you have the idea of a spoked wheel, let me put this up here. Everybody can see that. Right? In which each of us is a separate spoke, a separate, unique spoke. And yet all of those spokes on the wheel meet in a common hub or center. That's where the spokes connect. Need I say more?
Yes.
That's why when we tend to our deepest center, that's why when we do our spiritual practice, that's why when we go to our sacred center or our soul, we care for all souls. You know, last month I talked about David Hawkins' work with the map of consciousness. We affect, through our consciousness, other beings. Stop. Let's practice the presence right now. I taught you this a few weeks ago. Stop, whatever you're doing. T, take a deep breath. O, observe yourself as soul, as a point of radiant light. And breathe from that perspective. P, proceed into your day. And I might add, with simplicity, patience, and compassion. Take a breath. And notice how that simple practice shifts you. Maybe physically, mentally, emotionally, just by doing that little practice of stop. How can you practice self-compassion? And are you willing to tap into your soul self more and come from that place? Ernest Holmes said, the infinite of itself is formless, but within it are contained all the forms which give expression to its consciousness. Spirit is the limitless within us, which is all space. So we can also think not only of a spoked wheel as our interconnectedness, but imagining our human family as a grove of aspen trees. Now visualize that in your mind. These beautiful aspen trees by the river. And though each tree appears to be growing independently and not attached to the others, beneath the soil, out of view, the roots of all those trees exist as one enormous root. And that's true. So like the trees, our soul's growth, while appearing to be independent, not connected, is intimately connected to the health of those around us. For our spirits and our souls are entwined at the center, but it's out of view. Do you get that? Yeah. So, if we accept this idea, or even entertain this idea, doesn't it become clear that we have no choice but to embrace the health of others as part of our own health? What if, in ignoring strangers, we ignore ourselves? What if, in choking the roots, we choke our own growth? And yet, in accepting strangers, we accept ourselves. I do believe that when we heal ourselves, we can heal the world. Because we know that, for instance, our body is only as healthy as its individual cells, right? And the world is only as healthy as its individual souls. So when we create an environment where it's safe to stop instead of pushing ourselves, judging, and we take that breath, we give others the permission and the example to do the same. You are an example for others. So please don't screw it up. Oh, blessed be. You know, I was thinking about my former life as a professional dancer. I had a thing just went off. Can I have it? Absolutely. As a professional dancer, I had my dance company travel in Europe one summer, and then I was invited to come back as a solo artist and teach classes in Poland. And I remember going to Poland, and it was winter. It wasn't very fun. A lot of snow, really cold, and places just weren't warm. And I had to take different trains to different cities, and some of the cities I couldn't pronounce. I knew Krakow and Warsaw. But I'll never forget the kindness of strangers. When I couldn't figure out where to go, what to do, and I would just stand there kind of looking lost, and I remember one time I was just crying because I was so cold and I didn't know where I was, and I was supposed to get on a train. I couldn't find the train station, you know. And people would come up and just offer we didn't speak the same language, but we spoke anyway. And they would take me by the hand to where I needed to go. Always, always, always. And I know a lot of you are world travelers and you have experienced that, right? So the kindness of strangers is really important. And again, it just reminded me of the interconnectedness of all of us. All of us. So when we open our awareness at the level of spirit, it doesn't allow us to turn away from something, but it rather calls us deeper into action. And then we can fully live the sacred, the mundane, and the profane parts of us with a new vision, a clearer perspective, a clearer connection. Interconnected. So ask yourself, what is mine to do in this thing called life? There's a great practitioner in the Dallas Church of the Centers for Spiritual Living. Her name's Tracy Brown. She's written quite a few books. Very wise, wise woman. She has a Facebook page called What Is Mine to Do? I recommend you look it up. She has resources for various groups, and some I've never heard of, and different people that are doing stuff I've never heard of that is powerful, that could use our attention and support. What is mine to do? Ernest Holmes says, spirituality is a constant, consistent attempt to feel the presence of God in everything and everyone. Upward spiral. And the upward spiral is always evolving, isn't it? Sometimes we are moving up, sometimes we're stuck. Has anybody ever been stuck? No. Not here. Not here. Not anybody. So I just want to invite us to think about, what if every aspect of our life is a sacred expression of the divine? Because in truth, we're always connected to spirit. But in the mundane busyness of our lives, we often forget this truth. Do you ever forget that? That you're connected? No, I know you don't. I do forget it, but not very often, and it doesn't last that long. Because I have practices and principles to bring me back. You know, we have, where's that little thing I had? We have our bookmarks over on the side that has a list of practices that we do in Centers for Spiritual Living. Here it is. So pick one up. That's why spiritual practice is such an important way to regularly connect, replug with that divine intelligence that is always within you, and it gives you a new perspective. It gives you a way to embody these principles and practices we talk about instead of just talking about them. And then you become a beneficial presence on this planet. I am a beneficial presence on this planet. Can you say that?
I am a beneficial presence on this planet.
Can you own that? Can you just be willing? Remember, being willing is the first step in being teachable. So Science of Mind teaches us that we are always connected. And that one Spirit is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, all-knowing, everywhere present, all-powerful. And we want to embody that so that we live fully, so that we do become a beneficial presence. I was thinking about, that saying, to stop and smell the roses. Do you ever stop and smell the roses?
Yes.
Do you ever stop and be in awe at the changing leaves and the falling leaves? And now, before I was in awe of the trees, now I'm in awe of them on the ground. The carpet of color on the ground is spectacular. I take a walk in my neighborhood and I'm just like picking up leaves and carrying them home, and they get all shriveled eventually, but they're so beautiful and they're unique. There isn't one that's alike. So when we can go back to nature and look at things and feel things, watch the sunrise, the moon this morning, the moon setting was spectacular. I saw it out of my bathroom window. The moon rising was beautiful too, but I never really thought of the moon setting, and it was quite spectacular, and I think it's almost full. So there's ways that we can connect through nature to lift us up out of the mundane, right? And then we can create an affirmation related to what we're viewing or seeing or feeling. I am one with all of life. I am one with this forest and all the living creatures, seen and unseen. I bathe in this forest energy, and I am interconnected with all of life. So I invite you this week, when you're out on your walk or you're in a park or just in your backyard, to observe, to be still and quiet and connect with that deep nature of Mother Nature. It is so nurturing. It is so healing. It's an energy that is very, very healing. So I invite you to close your eyes, please, if it's comfortable. Take a deep breath with me. Relax your shoulders. Feel your feet on Mother Earth. Take a deep breath. And be present in this perfect holy moment of now. And breathe slowly. And feel your heart constrict and dilate, just as your eyes do. Breathe slowly and care for your soul with each breath. Feel your heart expand. Feel your sense of self open. Breathe slowly and feel your sense of the world open as you care for your soul. Breathe slowly and feel the interconnectedness of you with all sentient beings. Remember, we are one with Spirit, and Spirit is one with all of us. We are spokes on the wheel. Always and in all ways, we are connected. And simply allow this time of inner knowing to fill you with peace and harmony and gratitude. And maybe allow a smile to come to the corner of your eyes and mouth, knowing you are blessed and you are a blessing. And I invite you to, as you open your eyes and return, to gently look around and smile at others with your eyes and see them as the spokes on your wheel. Interconnect.